Donnie B. GotDaBeats.
Hello, everybody. Again, welcome to another episode of The Beat. I'm Donnie B. Got the Beats. You already know what time it is when you hear that glorious beat playing in the background, man. Listen, we are winding down on season 5. I am so excited and so honored to be still delivering this message and bringing new stories to the platform. But tonight's guest, man, I wanted to stray away from the entertainment platform. I wanted to talk about someone who has extensive knowledge on the mental health and wellness. Sorry about that. Mental health and wellness space. It's a really big deal, and a lot of people really need to start paying attention to it. But we already know what time it is. It's time for that glorious intro, y'all. So tonight I have the pleasure and the privilege and honor to bring somebody that very quickly we warmed up together. I mean, she allowed me to be on her show while I was preparing for my first symposium, y'all. My first one to discuss and talk about the power of shut up. Shout out to Lisa Dove Washington with the power of power of shut up. Jeez. But I had the pleasure of being on Victoria's show, promoting that symposium, and we just really hit it off. And this, I got to say, her energy is amazing. Her education on mental health and wellness, and she has a unique title that I'm going to let her talk about later on in this. But I definitely wanted to bring her. I was like, you got to be on the show, and I begged her and pleaded her with her, and she said yes. So without further ado, we have, and let me make sure I get this right, Professional Achievement Facilitator, Victoria M. Holland. How you doing?
I am amazing. How are you, my friend?
Hey, man, I'm always good, even when I'm bad.
Hey, me and you both. What an honor to be amongst like minds.
Hey, I love it. I like the way you put your words together, and you're killing that blue. You know what I'm saying? That blue is electric. You know what I'm saying? Boogie woogie.
Right.
So again, thank you for being on the show. I couldn't say enough about the time, the energy that we shared on your show. It was a distinct honor and privilege, and I was like, I gotta have you on my show. So thank you again.
It's my honor and pleasure to be with you tonight, Donnie. It really is.
No, I appreciate it so much. Now, I want to get straight to this thing so we can, because I know your time is precious. So you're on the East Coast, and it's nap time for those that ain't familiar. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get straight to this. But I want to start with the first question. I want you to tell everybody just who is Victoria M. Holland.
Oh my God, you got all that time? Well, let's see. I'm an old country girl. I am a certified master life coach, and my functionalities range from transformation to spiritual awareness, life purpose. I have about 7 different certified master certifications in the field. And so I'm just an old country girl. I'm a single mother of 3 girls, 3 beautiful daughters. Chrissy, Katina, Tamika, hey y'all.
Hey.
3 amazing godchildren, Keith, Daryl, and Cherie. And I have 3 phenomenal grandsons, Trenton, Josiah, and Julian. And I am the youngest girl of the PK, the Bishop, Elder Holland. So I'm just an old country girl. That's who I am.
Hey, they don't know about that. They don't know about that there down there. You know
No,
what I'm
don't end my dip. Don't end my
saying? So
Yeah.
let's talk about that. Growing up in, where did you grow up? What was it like for you there, and how did you overcome any hurdles or obstacles to become the success that you are today?
I'm originally from a little small town called Martinsville, Virginia.
Okay.
If you're familiar with the Martinsville Speedway,
Yeah.
that's where I'm from. I'm from that little town in between Roanoke and Greensboro, where I currently live. It's a very small town. It was big back in the day with DuPont, um, you know, textile companies and Toltecs and all that kind of stuff. But over the years, it kind of went and dwindled down. But actually, part of the reason why I am right now is because of my history. I was bullied when I was younger, believe it or not. And back in those days, they didn't call it being bullied; they called it being picked on, and you dealt with it. And so, as I got older, I learned that I didn't like it too much. It was not something that I really appreciated, and so I started just having my actual journey was just kind of just rolling over. I went from being a bullied child to being a high school student that didn't know where she was going. I'm the youngest of three girls. I didn't have any brothers, so my cousins were my brothers. But I was a tomboy, and I was always different. I never was like anybody else. And it took me a long time to figure out why that was. It's because I'm unique. Hello, how y'all doing? I'm unique. So SARS. But it took me all of that going through that. And then, of course, it's the background of getting into a bad relationship and domestic violence. And coming out of that, I was homeless at one point. When I came to Greensboro, I thought my world was going to be changed. It was going to be different. And some of that old past came with me, not feeling confident in myself, not being who I was. And so it kind of just led right on into it. It just kind of rolled over. But even with the good times and the bad times in those years, I really didn't understand who I truly was until much later in my life. But it started off being that kid that nobody liked. Everybody wanted to pick on her. She was a preacher's kid, and she was weird. She liked to do things that most girls didn't like to do. She hung out with the boys on the basketball court and, wore Converse tennis shoes in the pit snow. It's just stuff. But it wasn't one of those things that was prominent for a girl. So that's Martinsville, I still love y'all. Even though I don't visit but to see my dad. But
Hey, I wouldn't. Shout out to Southern VA, man. Like, if you did or did not know, Donnie B got the beats with the Hampton University. So I spent a lot of time at Hampton Roads, and I'm very familiar with Southern Virginia, and went walkabout plenty of time. That's all I'm about to say about it.
Okay, now. Yeah.
I read that story resonates with me. I mean, I was kind of picked on when I was in coming up through grade school and so forth and so on. So I totally understand where you're coming from. It's it's not fun, and they say kids are cruel. You know what I mean? But they don't know any better.
No.
And it's funny because some of the people who were the people that picked on me or people that reach out to me now. You know what I mean? And hey man, I've been following you forever and so forth and so on. So,
Yeah, it's interesting, because you don't think about it until much later in life.
Right.
But those same people, like you said, that picked on us and that did all those things, they when they see us now and they know some of our stories and how we've gotten where we are now, some of them wonder, how did you let that happen when I picked on you all the time? It's amazing that when you start seeing, you go back to your past and you see those times when you didn't think you had it going on and they did. And that's not to say that they're not good people now. Yeah. They just didn't have good thought patterns. I won't put it that way. Good thought patterns at that time. And because it's the environment. Our environment has a lot to do with it. Small town people, the mentality about what's out there in the world doesn't really exist. They have to read it, they have to make it happen, and that causes other things to happen. So it causes people to take down. In order to get ahead, it's better to pick on you than to not admit that I don't know where I'm going.
Right.
So you have to kind of you take it on that role, but it is what it is. It made us stronger. It's made us better.
Definitely. Here we talk about it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to throw out there that we had Kay Clark. Kay Clark said, "Hey, Victoria M. Holland."
Hey, Kay's one of my colleagues.
Hey,
Nice to have you, Kay.
Yeah, thanks for joining in, Kay. And feel free to reach out and talk to Ms. Holland about at any point in time. If you got any comments, leave them in the comment section. And make sure I'm gonna put this up really quick because I normally don't do this, but they got to make sure that they reach out and talk to you. So make sure you follow her also on social media, Twitter, Facebook. She has a website. She's on Instagram, IG, as you call it, the young people call it. Make sure you reach out and holler at her, man. But this is going back to your story. I want to ask, with all of that being said, and you talked about the root of what puts you on the path that you're in. I want to ask, like, specifically, how did you get into the health and wellness industry? Was there like a day where you woke up and was like, you know what, I'm doing this for the rest of my life? Or did you happen into it, or how did it work out?
It was kind of an accident. When I was younger, probably about in the 6th grade, I was told I would never be able to read. And I had a teacher, Anna Corbin, God rest her soul, that said, no, you're going to read and you're going to do some amazing things. And one of these days you're going to grow up and you're just going to be talking to the world. Because I used to live in this fantasy about just everything I saw because I couldn't read it. So I made it up. So I always wanted to be, of course, being a PK, you learn how to talk a lot to people. It's something about being in the church. You learn how to talk. I don't know what it is, but I love, my dad is a very sociable person. And believe it or not, I'm an introvert. Y'all, I know y'all don't believe that, but that's true.
You need more people.
Donnie, can I tell you a secret? One of the secrets I can tell you about is that I used to not like people.
I would.
But when I just started talking to people, and I had different jobs that came up in my life. I worked as a social worker in an area when you didn't have to have the full licensing to do so. I worked for the city of Martinsville for many years as a counselor for the summer youth program, just different things. But then I came into ministry under my dad, and that was seeming like, oh, I could still talk to people. But I couldn't be, you couldn't be real. Right. You couldn't say words that you weren't supposed to say to church, kind of thing. But I started wanting to be a motivational speaker because I knew how hard it was for people to come back from what had damaged them in their life. It was hard sometimes for people, and it's still hard for people out there to understand that your life doesn't stop. It continues, and we have to learn how to deal with that. And one of the things what I wanted to do was just motivate people. That old saying, I was for the underdog. It wasn't necessarily I was for the underdog. I was for the person who needed to be raised to that next level. Hence where elevated, not tolerated came from. So helping people get to that next level meant that I had to talk to people. So I started doing motivational speaking, a little bit here and there. And then in one of my workshops, I will never forget it. I was walking across the floor, and I was talking about, it's time to clean up your house. It's time to move forward. You guys got to do this thing, and I'm just giving on. And I said, one day I'm going to be a life coach. And I went, didn't want to let that bug out. And so all of a sudden I started studying what it could be to be a life coach, and how that really transforms people's health and their wellness, and how that really works. And I had the privilege of meeting this phenomenal lady who was she was a coach. That's what she does. She certified other coaches, and I took her program. And in 2018, I became a certified professional life coach. And I started just thinking, oh, wait a minute, I need to do more with this. It's got to be some more things that I can do. And so I started studying other, portions of coaching and how it actually does work into, dealing with mental health and how it does help. I'll say this to my fellow colleagues, make sure that you understand there is a difference between coaches, counselors, and therapists. I'm a certified master coach. That doesn't mean that I can give you therapy. I can't write you a prescription. I can't do certain things. But what I can do is help you, lead you to, if you will, that well that you've been looking for, that water in. I can help you get to that place. And so a lot of times, when I got into doing the motivational speaking, and then the whole thing with coaching just seemed to come natural. It just seems like this is where I want to be. This is who I am, because I know what that struggle is when you don't have somebody that can actually help you develop a plan, see things clearly. Because sometimes we get to that point, we just, we're stuck in the mud. We don't know what caused it. We don't know what happened or when we stopped being who we were. I mean, for me, I had tried to commit suicide a couple of times. I had been homeless, and all of these things made me feel like I didn't know who I was. But it wasn't that I didn't know who I was. It was that nobody had taken the time to help me find who I was. And that's what the coaching is. You're helping someone get to that next level. You're helping them move through all of the processes and being able to understand that you can live beyond all of these things, and you can live past what anybody else's expectation is. My pastor usually says, it's your perception. And that's the true fact. Your perception will hold you down. It will sabotage the person that really wants to be. And when I started doing that, last year I was doing some research, and Michelle B. Hammond, thank you so much, my dear friend, because we were having a conversation and we were talking about the title, because, in this industry, coaching, a lot of people just get into it. Oh, I want to be a life coach. Guys, it's more than having that title. I'm not a title person per se. I don't even like those titles. I'm a helper. I'm a server. That's who I am. But we started talking one day, and I said, this is the thing. I want to help people achieve. Coaching has many different aspects. Like I said, I'm fluent in different forms of coaching, life purpose, and different things. But in the same token, the thing that I want people to understand is that, you can't always hold that one title, because the area is so broad. If I can help you through your life transitioning, if I can make you understand what your mindset is thinking, if I can help you understand what your social connections do, then I'm helping you achieve something. So I started thinking about this. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm a professional achievement person. I'm helping you get more than just one aspect of coaching. I'm helping you get through other areas. So hence, Professional Achievement Facilitator. I'm helping you achieve what you want, because that's the whole purpose of being a coach. I'm helping you meet those goals. And so it started just from talking to people and hearing people, and then communicating some things that I have been through my life, and understanding that you can make it. You can be elevated and not tolerated. You'll make me cry. Don't do that.
Hey man, I'm gonna tell you how good of a daggone coach you are. You facilitated your way right to the next question. What is a professional achievement facilitator? And you facilitated your way right up through there. So that's what I'm talking about. You better walk.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
But, because it's important that people understand, and I think I mentioned this to you earlier. I think it's important that people understand the difference, because when we're dealing with mental health is true. It is mental health is real.
Yes.
And no matter how we look at it, it used to be that saying, it takes a village to raise a child, right? I truly believe it takes a village to help people get to their next level. It takes a whole village. And you can't do that just by saying, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. It takes somebody who's going to facilitate you to that next level. Someone who's got to hear you that you want to achieve. Now, I can tell you, there's some people that I won't deal with. If I don't hear what's in your heart, then I'm gonna ask certain questions, but I'm gonna ask you what is it that you really want to be? What do you want in your life? You know, we used to, as kids, they used to ask us, what you want to be when you grow up? Instead of asking, well, what do you want to be for yourself? Who are you? I truly believe that there's a core root in every one of our lives that we haven't tapped on. Most people do not understand that what you experience in your life has purpose, but you have to define what that purpose is by finding out what your true root is. And finding out your true root is finding out who you really are. That's one of the things I teach in my class. You got to know what that root is. You know, it doesn't happen overnight. And for me to be your facilitator, for me to help you get to that, to achieving that very thing that you want, is what I'm here for. I've been through hell and back, and been through hell again and back. But at the end of the day, you don't stay in hell forever. That's it. You find the root. I mean, there are some things I could tell you right now in the last 6 months, 8 months, that would have caused me to not be where I should be right now. But I refuse to stop. I refuse to give up, because if I do, guess what? That next person out there that's watching me is not going to have the opportunity. I'm a living testimony. I'm a walking, breathing, living testimony that if you put your mind to it, if you set some goals and objectives, you can make it. But you got to ask yourself, how bad in hell do you want it? You got to know, how bad do you want it? Most of us are asking for change. But my question is, what do you want to do to change? You know, it's not going to happen by you just saying it. You can have a pity party, but don't let the party last all night. You know, you can do some things. I mean, there are people out there, my colleagues, and all of us are out here. We're here to help. We're not just, you know, a lot of people want to be a coach because they think it's glamorous and you make money at it. Well, all of that's true. You can make some money at it. My focus is not so much the money. Don't get me wrong now. I'll take all y'all gonna give me now. 10,000, bring it on. I take it. Bring it on. But at the end of the day, my purpose, my main function is, are you healing from within? Is your mind clear of all of the garbage? Are you able to learn how to cut yourself away from toxic waste?
Right.
And if you're not, then I'm here to help you facilitate that. Let's set up a goal plan. Let's make a plan that's going to work for you. Let's do some daggone things that nobody else wants to do with you in. Because we all want control, but do we know what control is? My students, if they were here, they would tell you what control is. Control, by elevated, not tolerated, is those things that you have overcome. That's control. Control is not, oh, I'm going to take you by your arm and I'm going to pull it off. That's not control.
Right.
Control is the things that you have overcome, that you can say, I mastered that. I beat that. I beat the odds. I beat the odds when people said, I'm not going to be. Who the hell gave you the right to tell me I'm not going to be? When I know that I can elevate to that next level. And I got a life coach over here whose name is Victoria Holland, who's going to make you do
it. Like Kay said, that part.
It is what it is.
You know, it's interesting that you say that again, because, you know, I always just try to bounce, you know, and you know, this is not necessarily a one-way street, even though this is your interview. But I actually experienced. No, you're great. You're great.
It's just
no. I think that's the unique thing is, like I said, I too was one of those students that was told, you know, I was told I'd never. Let me not paraphrase it. I'm gonna say it straight as it was said to me. You'll never be shit in the music industry, and it changed my life. It changed the entire trajectory of who I am, who I was as a person, because to me, I wasn't willing to let that stop. You know, I don't do well with directive authority. You know, like you said, who are you to tell me what I can't do? You know, now the flip side of the coin for me has been, you know, jostling with the idea or the perspective that everything I am is everything people told me I wouldn't be, which is that's something in itself. But that's it comes with the territory, right? But I think the biggest thing is that, like you said, knowing who you are is the power. That's the key that drives the Ferrari. You know what I mean? Like, you really have to know. And you know, I definitely am gleaning these nuggets that you throwing out at us. You know what I mean? And it's very necessary. And I thank you for sharing all of these things. I want to ask another question.
Go for it.
Being that you're in this industry and you talked about people's quickness to want the lights and the glitz, the glamour, the money. I want to ask you though, since you put in the work, and not saying that the other people don't,
Oh, yes.
but you
Yeah.
put in the work. What for you are and were your biggest obstacles in establishing yourself in the industry?
Woo, that's a good one. I like that one.
Okay, I snuck that one in there.
I guess my biggest, and it still is my biggest, I'm going to say that, is not everybody coaches in the same way. And not everybody has the same objective for doing it. And not everyone is taught the basics. You know, how you talk to people, how you listen to people, how you understand people. And then you know, in the industry itself, there are so many different, you can do it this way, you can do it that way. But at the end of the day, it's about your heart, right? It's about your passion with it. And sometimes in the industry, it gets overshadowed. If you're not, I don't want to call these people's name because they're great. They're great in their field. They're amazing. They're people that I look up to. But if you're not Billy Bob on 2nd Street, wherever,
Yeah.
then you don't get invited to the party of coaches, right?
Right.
Because I'm very transparent. I will cry because I love what I do and I feel it deep in my spirit. And so sometimes people don't understand that you don't have to be $1 million billboard person. You don't. That is not what coaching is about. It's not about how much money you got. It's not about how many clients you have. It's about those clients that you've taken and you've had and you've seen the progress in them to the point that when you hear their names, I have some students that I call butterflies because I've seen them break out of their shell and become what they want, not because of me, but because I gave them the opportunity to express themselves. And
Right.
sometimes in the industry, you have to fight to get notarized as a coach. You have to fight for people to say, "Oh, you specialize in that. I thought you were just a talker. Oh, I just thought you just like to talk to folks. Oh, I just thought you like to do lives." Honestly, I don't, but it's a part of me that the clients have to see that I'm here, right?
Right.
In the industry itself, it's not enough of us, I don't think, in this day and time that are doing it from the core. They're doing it from the level of this is what it's like, you know, back in the day when you wore bell bottoms. No, I never wore them. I didn't like them. I just didn't. I was straight leg kid. Okay. But when people started buying bell bottoms, everybody wanted bell bottoms.
Right.
Why? So that's the way it is with the industry now. Everybody wants to be a coach because that's what you hear. Coaching's been in the mix for years. Nobody ever actually experienced it until later in these years. COVID really kicked the numbers up. But the obstacles that I found is that people don't really know that I'm here. They don't. And then the people that are really in it, that are, you know, could help bring the rest of us to the table, don't. And that's one of the reasons why I started one of my programs, because, you know, in the industry, I wanted unknown coaches or coaches that were not being recognized to have an opportunity. And so I created what we call the Coaches on Parade. I started that in 2019, where I wanted coaches who nobody knew who they were to come to the table. And so in 2019, I had my first Coaches on Parade event where I brought in 8, 9 coaches that nobody knew. There were coaches I went to class with. There was a coach that had been in the industry, but nobody knew who she was because of the saturation of the industry for the wrong reasons, or maybe for the notoriety of it. And so I said, you know what? People wouldn't let me come sit at their table. Dag nabbit, I'll create a damn table. I'll just create the coaches on parade, and I'll sit at the table and I'll bring some more. Because it's not the ones that are true. There's not enough opportunities out there for us to be known that we are here.
Man, you nailed all of that. I dig it. I dig it. I dig it.
Yeah.
Oh, with that being said, and with all of the stuff that you've discussed, I want to ask you, who and or what were your inspirations?
Wow. My dad is my biggest inspiration. I'm not gonna cry. My dad will be 95. Well, I might. I don't know. My dad will be 95 in June. He is the 16th child of 18 children.
Ooh.
And he is the only child that's left living. All of his brothers and sisters have passed. My dad was my biggest inspiration because he was a true country boy that, with a 7th grade education, ran the city of Martinsville like it was his own. Anybody that knew my dad, and they still do it. When I come back home, they say, "Oh, that's Ed Holland's baby girl." Yeah, that's me. Why? Because my dad loved people. He genuinely loves people. And he gave his shirt off his back. And he always instilled in his children that we could be anything that we wanted to be. And I know some people say it as a cliche, but my dad lived it. And he taught us that. You know, out of the 3 girls, I was the one who never wanted to got my hands dirty. And my dad would say, "Girl, you ain't gonna never work in no factory. You can't handle no dirt under your nails." Daddy, you tell the truth, because I still can't. But I mean, he did it with love, and he did it with such admiration for who I was. He never said I wasn't anything but great. And he always taught me that even when I was having those moments, that I was still special. So my dad was my biggest inspiration. And then my mom, God rest her soul, she was my next inspiration. She was a true dead country girl from a place called Sitnersville. Who the heck knows where Sitnersville is? But I mean, it's in the country. But she had no education, none. She learned how to read and spell her name by going to church and reading the Bible. That's how she learned how to write her name. So she was my inspiration. My sister, God rest her soul, my older sister, God rest her soul, she was my other inspiration because she was a supporter. She was a pusher. She never let me stop. I remember when the first time I tried to commit suicide that they knew about, my sister was the one that found me. And she knew because I can't swim a lick, but I love water. And I was really going through a really bad time in my life. And I kind of like disappeared for a minute. And I was walking what we call the city reservoir in Martinsville. And I was walking out in the water. And I heard this voice say, "No, you can't do it. No, you can't do it." And so, okay. So my sister came and got me. And she said, "We're not going to do this. You got 3 kids. You have so much more to live for." That changed me. Now, I can be honest. I attempted it a couple of more times after that. But the inspiration that was in my head that they instilled in me, that's what pulled me back. You know, it made me come back. But then you look at the industry there, you know, Lisa Nichols, hats off. I'm going to meet her one day. I'm going to sit down and have a conversation with that chick. Lisa, if you're watching me, girl, I want to be on your show. Yes, I will. Because I listened to her story as being a motivational speaker. And one of the things that I will always treasure about her story is that she said when she wanted to get into business and nobody would let her in the door, she would make phone calls and she would say, "Hi, I'm calling from Lisa Nichols' office. And This is her secretary. And I thought, who the heck does that but me?
Right.
And so that inspired, she's someone that is in the business that inspires me. You know, John Maxwell. I mean, come on. Les Brown. All you guys, I'm coming for your jobs. I just want y'all to know. I'm just letting y'all know I'm on your show. But these are people that really inspired me because they had real life stories. You know, they came from places of deep negativity. You know, why people said they weren't going to be anything in this industry. They will not. And then they came out of nowhere and they'll make, you know, they're the kings and queens of this industry, right?
Right.
But then I look at Bishop T.D. Jakes. Oh my God. One message I will never forget. And he said, watch them dogs. He taught that message and it caused me to watch the dogs that were around me, the people that were eating at my flesh and was dragging me down. But watching them caused me to elevate. So those are the people that inspired me. And then these people like Kay Clark, who's out there tonight, and some other phenomenal coaches. When you say who inspires me, it's those people. But the main people that really inspire me out of all of that, Donnie, is those people out there that are looking for help, that are needing somebody that knows that they can make it. Those are the people that inspire me, because those are the people that are out there that I want to grab by their hands and tell them. I was a girl going into McDonald's on Pisgah Church Road every day, changing my clothes, putting on my Dollar Tree makeup that I still wear to this day, because hey, it's good stuff. But I was homeless and nobody knew I was homeless. But when I walked into McDonald's and the lady said, do you have a second job? And I'm like, no, I'm homeless. And she said, well, I would have never known it. The people like me that was in those places, those are the true people that inspire me. Those people that those are forgotten heroes too, because nobody thinks they're going to make it. So those are the people that inspire me, because I'm not going to let them go. I'm not leaving them behind. I'm going to find you. If you're watching, I'm going to find you and I'm going to be here and I'm going to pull you out, because you inspire me not to give up. They are inspiring me not to give up. I can't give up because they're waiting for me.
Amen. Listen. This whole conversation already did change my life. It changed my life in perspective. It just feels some kind of way when you have good energy being traversed, man. Like you can feel energy.
Yes. Yes.
It's awesome. You know what I mean? And you are a very, very good facilitator, and you wield energy very well, you know. And yeah. Woo! Let's get back at it, ladies and gentlemen, because this lady right here cooking right now. Take a second. You deserve it. You have a testimony. Your testimony is your principle, and it's awesome.
Because I don't think people realize. Because when I came to Greensboro, I thought my life was going on to that next level of high excellence. And then life happened. You know, my sister had just died in May. Excuse me, my sister died in April. I moved to Greensboro in May. My mother had just been put into a nursing home. My mother died a year later. And I thought all of the other hell that I had been through was over. You know, I thought being bullied, being in domestic violence, being everything but what I knew I was over. I thought all of that was behind me until I came to Greensboro and I was reminded that my sister was no longer with me. You know, she had been sick, but she hadn't been sick. And then to have my mother die almost a year later. And then life happened. I lost my job that I loved. It was the reason why I came here. Lost it. You know, not even 6 months after my mother died. which caused me to catapult and lose my home, my everything. So all of the hell that I imagined that I had been through came creeping right back up at the point in my life that I should be on top of the world. And being homeless, being truly homeless, because see, people say they're homeless and they're not. Mm-hmm. I was truly homeless. Sleeping in my car under the Harris Teeter lights, going from place to place. Spent one night in a shelter that I swore I wouldn't. When I make that million, that I'm going to go back to that, and I'm working on that million. I'm going to go back to that facility, and it's going to be ripped down, and it's going to be recreated to be the safe haven that it's supposed to be. Took me one night with that. But then walking into McDonald's on Pisgah Church Road every day for about 6 months, changing my clothes, getting dressed, and going back out trying to find another job made me believe in everything that I knew. I didn't have the support here in Greensboro. I didn't. I'm a little country girl from Martinsville, and I swore I'd never go back. So when I share my story, it's not because I want anybody to feel sorry for me. I don't want anybody to, oh girl, yeah, I went through it to bring somebody else to another level. The hells that I went through is to help somebody else know that you can make it, baby. You can do the daggone thing. If it meant that I had to go through that, just so that somebody else could see through me that you can make it, Donnie, I'd do it again. I'd do it again. To bring me to this level of being a certified master coach, I'd do it again. Because I don't want anybody to be left behind. Not one person.
Let me say this. I'm not the best. I'm not a professional speaker. I would love to do that one day, but I'm not there yet.
You there, man? You there?
I look at you, and you're hearing your testimony, and I look at it and I equate it to Earth, and I say Earth in the agricultural sense of Earth. When you talking about agriculture, you're talking about growing crops. You have to tend to the Earth. You have to destroy the Earth in order for it to breathe and treat it so that other people can glean from it. And that gleaning process is what feeds everybody on the planet. And I think that's the whole thing with you, is that, you being rooted in who you are and wanting that to help. And that's the end game, right? You helping and you feeding people, but you had to tend to that earth. You had to tend to that soil. You know what I mean? And so it's unfortunate because nobody thinks about the soil. They just know to tend it. You know what I mean? And I think that's the message that I received from it. And I think it's really, really important for everybody to understand that, we're all humans and we all have reasons. We talked about that in the power of shut up. You know what I mean?
That's true.
And I think that's a beautiful, poetic way of looking at your story, because people, we continuously eat off the earth. Some of the best food and some of the best things for our digestion, or the best things for our soul, our body, our bodies, our energy comes from the earth. And you are that. You know what I mean? And it's just good to know that everything that you are is because of everything you've been through, and you're still here. And we see what today is. Imagine what tomorrow's gonna be, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So sorry, hey, shut up.
No, you can. It's. I appreciate. See, this is the thing, and I think this. it's funny. Our other brother from the symposium, I had a conversation with Prince de Jour, and one of the things that I can say is that, you know, our life it is what it is, but there's nothing that, and you're talking, and so you're talking prophetically as well, my friend, because when you're talking about, you know, the soul and the breathing, you know, all this whole year, see, I done cussed and now I'm gonna go back to church, right? Okay, y'all, I service, but God has been just downloading in me about breathing, right? And, you know, and I shared this with you and some of the others that, you know, in September, which is why I keep coughing, I had COVID, and I'm considered a long hauler now. And I didn't understand how important the breathing was, right? And then God started downloading breathing and the oxygen that we have in the atmosphere, and the molecules and how they accumulate and come together, and they separate. Right. And you're getting this first, because I haven't shared this whole the aspect of the breathing, how God gave it to me, but He was just letting me see how the molecules come together. Mm-hmm. And when you're breathing in, the molecules are going in, and then when you exhaling, the molecules, the dirt, all of that's coming out and it's going out, right? Then He started showing me how when the molecules are coming together, that fresh breath, that fresh breath is coming together. It is purifying the body. It is bringing life back to the body. And so I was like, okay, God, I can breathe. And then, and of course, you know, that's when the conference is coming up this Saturday, but it's time to breathe. And just, I thought I knew where I was going with all of the things that God has purpose in my life until I got sick. Mm-hmm. And then He stopped me. See, I say this, I'm not downing COVID by the things that has happened to other people, but for me, COVID was an eye awakening. Yeah. It forced me to stop breathing. It forced me to be on my back. It forced me to see people, places, and things around me. Yeah. And it forced me to have the breathing, the breath of life coming back to me. It was like I had an out of body experience, and I can almost imagine what it was like when God breathed that first breath of life into Adam. It's almost like I could feel it, because I had lost everything around me. I had lost some of my clients because I was sick, you know, just different things. But it was like the realization of how that breath works, and how it is so important that we inhale and exhale, but we inhale and exhale to give us a life and give us purity back, where we don't just take everything that we go through as a bad thing. Because I used to do that. I used to think, oh my God, why the hell did I have to go through this? Oh God, why did I have to get punched in the face? Oh God, why did I have to lose my house? Oh God, why did my mom and my sister had to die? No. Because it was necessary for the earth to be cleansed, for me to be able to breathe back in all of the nourishments. My mom and my sister are with me always, because I can feel the molecules in the atmosphere for me, right? But if I never stopped to think about it before, when I got sick, I did. And it even allowed me to go back, and again, you're getting the first of this. It allowed me to finish rewriting my book. It allowed me to do that, because now I have the energy that I had when I first started writing it, right? But it also gave me the fresh new energy that I needed for my clients that are coming. You guys are out there, come on. I got new, fresh breath that I can breathe back to them, that they have to be able to know that where you and I are right now, people said we weren't going to be crap. Well, guess what? We're a whole lot of crap and some more. Sorry, you just increased our value. You know, one of the things I say is stop feeding people who cannot digest your wealth. That's what my t-shirt says. That's my line. Stop feeding that crap. If they can't understand how much you're worth, then tell them what, you know what? Kick rocks and call Victoria. She'll tell you how to dig them back up. Because I don't care. I just don't care anymore. I care about people breathing freely and learning that it's your time to do it. You know, being the ripe old age that I am, that I'm going to be in a few months, people still tell me, I don't believe you. Well, okay, well, here's my birth certificate. I don't take that for granted. I kind of actually like it sometimes, you know, to walk into a restaurant and you order a glass of wine and say, can I card you? What are you talking about? I'm old enough to be your mama. Right. But, you know, I still need to card you. And they're like, really? You're almost 60? Yeah, I am. I got good genes. My dad's 95. What are you talking about? You know, but the energy, and I really I like how you said that, is that, you know, our energy kind of gravitated. It's like there's people that you can be around and you can be your true self, and then there's people that you can be around, you can be part of yourself.
Right. And
so being around you is, I'm being my entire self. You know what I'm saying? Being around, you know, I told my students this and they laugh at me. My biggest strength is this: I can talk to anybody that I don't know. Them jokers that know me from my past, I can't talk to them.
Right.
Because you're going to hold that. But when we start moving to that next level, it is such refreshing. It's such a new breath. When you asked me to be on the show, all I kept feeling was this fresh air, that fresh breath, that newness. And it was like you asked me at the time, and you didn't even know this. You asked me at the time that I had just finished creating my next class that nobody's taken yet, so y'all can be the first to sign up. It's building positive circles. Mm-hmm. And when you asked me, I had just finished writing the last piece to that, because it was like, this is the freshness. Fresh energy, positive energy, people that have experienced life, but now are flourishing in their own right. You are the top-notch daggone Donnie got the beats. I mean, who the heck can imagine that? I mean, I'm listening to you. I'm like, man, this dude is bad. See, this is the thing. But it's your energy. It's that inner love that you have for what you do, and the inner love that you give to other people. And that's what I gravitate to. The negative people, I ain't got time for that.
Right. Well, you know, you said a lot of nuggets out here that people need to make sure that they will wind it back and check out. But I definitely want to say, you know, is like you said, being around like-minded individuals. One of my beliefs is that, you know, sophistication is hive-minded. You can't be sophisticated without being around sophisticated people. It just doesn't work. You know what I mean? And there's levels to that. But I definitely am thankful and honored. That's why I said it in the symposium, to just be in a you know, among such heralded and accomplished and educated,
yes,
melanin skinned
child
people. You know what I mean? That's a whole other thing. They ain't even ready for that right there.
Right there, they ain't ready for that.
You know what I'm saying? But you know,
here's what I found.
I'm sorry, that was Alexa. But like I said, no, excuse me, Siri, they'd shoot me. Anyway, I want to say, because this is toward the end. Let me take this thing off. This thing acting up now. Lord, speaking through this watch. Here we go. We chopped it up, right? So we have this. I'm gonna have to skim through this thing really quickly, but I definitely want to get you. I might have to just get you back on the show if you're interested.
Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. No, I'm just
you'll be back tomorrow. I love it.
Right.
I love it when a plan comes together. I do want to ask the question.
Certainly.
How do you feel that you paved the way for young wellness professionals, entrepreneurs, and creatives?
I got to go back to what I've been saying. I'm paving the way by telling you, baby, don't stop. If I can make it, you got to make it. I look at the young folks and I say to those those young entrepreneurs, I don't care what business you're going into, make sure you have your mindset on what you want. Go to the core of yourself. And how I pay that is by telling you, have a plan of action. Have an A, B, and C plan. And I tell people that, I tell young folks, old folks, I don't care what you kind of folks you is. Tell everybody the same thing. How do I pave the way? Well, let me tread the way, and let me cut down the hedges so that you can walk on through. Now I've cut the hedges down for you. Now I need you to stand your ground. Be the best darn person you can be. But make sure you have a plan of action. Don't go out there, be willy. Don't get me wrong, that you can do some things being willy. But if there's specific things that you want to do, map it out. Find yourself. This is what my key is right now, is seeing every level form. That's true self. Seeing every level form. That's self. So if you can see yourself evolving to another level, you can form it. Seeing every level form. If you can see it, you can believe it, you can make it happen. So my young folks out there, my young entrepreneurs, you young guys, girls, women, boys, you can do it, but have a plan of action. See yourself evolving and lifting for that next.
Great words, great words. What do you what's next for from Holland?
Wow. Well, we got the Favor is Fair. It's Time to Breathe conference. It's coming up this Saturday. That's my baby. We did it last year for the first time. So we're bringing back a few of the panel that were on the original. Lisa Del Washington is one of those. Kate Clark is out there. She's one. Oh gosh, help me, Jesus. Dr. Sylvia Kuntz is going to be with us. Apostle Yolanda Smith is going to be with us. Dr. Gia Conway, Jamila Rouse is going to be singing in on the panel. Michelle B. Hammond is going to be singing in on the panel. Did I miss anybody? Charity Hardley is going to be out there. She is phenomenal. She is one of my greatest friends, and she is a coach. And Donnie, when I was as a coach, I was a coach having a moment, and I was going to throw in the towel, and I was going to commit suicide because I was tired. And I had a meeting with her, and this lady literally talked me through getting back and saying, come back. You got to stay in coaching. You got to stay in the coaching. So she's going to be on the panel with us too. So that's this coming Saturday. You can go out to my webpage and click on the link services, and when you'll see the Favors for a conference. It's a free conference. You do have to register. Men and women, come. We need you, because we're going to talk about how favor is fair to you. We got that coming up. Then we got the Positive Self-Building course that is ongoing. I teach it every Monday night. We're finishing up building self-confidence right now. My shout outs to my students. The next class is coming up is building self-esteem. And again, these are my practical ways of teaching. And we get down to get dirty on Monday nights. Donnie, you got to come and be with us, just to come in and just joke. Hey, I'm gonna give you the link. You can come on and be with us. They'll love to have you. And so we got that coming up. And then we have in the middle of June, I'm going to start the next class of building positive circles. So that's on the way too. And then in July, we have I Laugh Because I Don't Want to Cry. And it's living after domestic violence. And so that conference is coming up in July. We got some phenomenal ladies that are going to be talking on that. I actually have a gentleman who just got out of domestic violence because men are part of domestic violence now. Yeah. But I have a gentleman. Wow. Really?
Yeah, I got a testimony.
You want to be on the panel?
What is a testimony?
You want to be on the panel?
Sure.
July. I'm going to give you the date.
Yeah. Y'all love it. See how the Lord works. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh my gosh. But see, you put the point. I need you. I need you. You're all a part of me. Okay, I didn't remix, but yeah, okay. I'm gonna send you the information. But I do have a gentleman that he is planning to be with us, but he will not be visible. because he's still in the process, but he wanted to share his story. So this year I wanted men. Oh my God. I wanted men to come tell the story.
You know, and I'm out in front of it. Hey, look, this happened. I mean, what can I do? But, you know, it is what it is. You know, I mean,
awesome.
There's a lot of stigma with that, but, you know, it is what it is. You know, I could use it as a learning lesson. Use it as a tool.
That's what I did. That's what we do. So as y'all can see, Donnie GotDaBeats is going to be one of our guests on. Yes, I laugh because I don't want to cry.
There it is.
There it is. There you go. That's going to be amazing. So that's what I got right now. And then we've got I'm planning another little event that Donnie probably going to be at anyhow. It's sort of like a birthday kind of celebration, but yeah, it's going to be a little networking too. So I'm going to be 60 in October. So I'm planning a little something.
Okay.
We got to bring you on down, you know.
We're going to come through. We're going to come through, going to slide through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, you know how we do, you know. Yeah, that's what. Hey, Miss Cynthia, how you doing? Oh my gosh. Yeah, that'd be great. I would love to have you. But that's what's coming up.
I look forward to it. And again, you know, we are at time, and I definitely, you know, like I said, want to be respectful of time. I got one more question to ask you, and then we can you know, transition out.
All right.
How can people learn more about you? You talked about all of the events and blessings that you have to give to people, but how can they reach you?
You can find me on Instagram. I don't get on Instagram as much, but you can definitely find me out there. You can find me on Twitter as Vix Elevates. They took my other name. I had to put that back out there. But Facebook, you can definitely go to my website. It's Victoria Elevates, and it's victoriamholland.com, and you can find me there as well. But you can always just, hit a girl up on Facebook. I'm there.
See what I'm saying? Down to earth, y'all. Get me?
I'm there. But I got a couple of gifts for some of your people, Donnie.
Oh, well, I tell you what, because I mean, we had two people. Right now we have contestants in, well, not contestants, but viewers in. Hey, listen, I want for two people, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, 2 people, you get a free gift from Victoria M. Holland. I want you to put your hands up or put a remark in the comments. The first to do that, claim the 2 gifts. This is new. I've never done this before. I don't normally do raffles, so this is the first time happening, ladies and gentlemen.
Have them.
I apologize for being ill prepared, but here we go. So at any point in time, we drum roll or something. If you want these gifts, need a comment or something. Say yay or nay in the comment section. I'm looking up right there. It's got 4. We got people in here. Anybody?
Well, Don, if they don't do it, then you get to have them.
Hey, well, you know what? I take that, and I don't care if it's advantage. I would absolutely do that. I'd be like, yep, since nobody else claimed it, I'm gonna receive it. Okay.
Bam, you got it.
Okay, K Clark got one.
Okay, golly. So it's a free 30-minute consultation.
Hey.
A free 30-minute consultation.
Okay. That's a free 30-minute consultation. K Clark, congratulations on that. And then we have one more gift, and I'm gonna give you 30 seconds. If I don't hear anything, we're gonna transition out. I'm gonna claim the gift myself because I like gifts.
All right. Now it looks like it's yours, man.
It might as well be because everybody else faking. They faking like that's what he said where I'm from. Anyway. I definitely thank you for the time. Thank you. I had one question that I did want to ask you. I'm going to say it, but we don't need to answer because your time is precious. But I was going to ask you about the Dave Chappelle attack because we talked about mental health awareness and the whole 9.
I can give. Can I answer it?
Go ahead.
I mean, my time is your time, my friend.
No, go ahead.
I purposely took a nap early so I could, hang out with you late. That's how I do it. I think it's all very it's a mental thing that's going on in the atmosphere, right? And people don't understand that what's happening right now is let me see you do it, I'm gonna see if I can do it too. Let me see you do it, let me see if I can get away with it. But what's happening is you have to evaluate the mental capacity of these people that are doing it.
Mhm.
What are they watching that's causing them to do that? You know, they watch one segment of that incident, that other incident that happened, and it has spiraled. I've listened to different things on the radio the last couple of weeks, and my heart goes out to any of these people that are experiencing. I mean, you got a 16-year-old kid who's jumping basketball players' moms and stuff. Come on, y'all. Look, let's go back to the root. Where did this come from? We saw something that we thought was funny. We thought that we could get away with it, and we forgot that there has mental legions attached to it. Mm. We have to go back to those people and say, what did you watch that made you thought that was perfect? You know, because nobody deserves to be jumped for any reason. Because until you jump me, you're going to come up.
Hey, man, they're going to get that work. I'm gonna tell you right now, they're going to get that work. It ain't going to be easy. That's for anybody.
That's for anybody. But I think it's a lot of people seeing cat and mouse games, and they think that it's funny. People think that some of this stuff is really just, ways to get, into the entertainment business. They're trying to get into that same, and that's not what it is, guys. Y'all stop doing that. All y'all do is call Donnie. He can hook y'all up with the people that's gonna get y'all into the business. What you did? I mean, really? I mean,
at least give you counseling.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
We tell you what not to do.
Coaches, take these coaches.
Yeah, I throw you some stuff over there, Don. You can use it. But I really think that's what it is. They saw the cat and mouse game, and now they want to play it too. And unfortunately, they don't realize the repercussions of what's going to happen in their life behind that. Because now you're leaving mental scars. Talk to people who've been in domestic violence. Those mental scars don't stop just because we put a little makeup over it, or the wound heals. We fight constantly with not wanting to react again when somebody walks by us. I don't know about you, Donnie, but I don't play fight no more. That's something I don't do, because if you even look like you're gonna catch all these praying hands.
Yeah.
I'm laying all on you. Huh? I'm anoint you so good that you're gonna fall on the ground. Yes, but but that's what it is. It's a lot of it is just you see it and you think you can do it, and it's gonna be funny, and I'm gonna get recognition for it, but you don't realize the repercussions that you're gonna get for it.
Well, interestingly enough that you put it that way, like my lady, she she kind of looks at how I engage on a day-to-day. Mm-hmm. And she's like, you're so serious when you're out in the street, so serious, because I don't trust not near one of these people. And anybody picks like they want to jump, I'm gonna jump at them too. And and it's just that if it's gonna be the day I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna go down, but I'm gonna go down fighting, boy. It ain't gonna be it gonna be smoke in the city, as they say. You know what I mean? So I don't play about that. I don't play about that at all. Man, will be child. Okay, do not put your hands on me or my family. I swear it on everything. Because
if you messing with Donnie, I gotta fly all the way to California to help fight too. See,
there you come through. That's what I'm saying. But man, I got people on people, man. You know what I'm saying? All this blue. Let me not do that because it's LA. You gotta watch.
Oh yeah. Well, just tell them stop feeding people.
Hey, man, you about to feed them hands. You know what I mean?
That's it.
Nah, but it's all love. We don't want to bring negative connotations out there. But at the end of the day, like I said, it was a pleasure to have you on the show, Victoria. Any opportunity we can hop on panels and stuff like that. I'd love to just sit next to you, man, and we could just go chop it up, man.
Well, you're gonna be with us in June on Uncensored Conversation, June the 26th.
I'll be all the way down.
My man virtually gonna fly in and spend the evening with me.
My arm can be tied.
Come on. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be great.
Listen, do you have any last words before we close this thing out?
I'm gonna say, if you have an issue, it's time for you to address them, and let's get you a working plan in process so that you can be the best part of you. Entertainers, it doesn't matter if from the pulpit to the corner store. That's what I always say. From the pulpit to the corner store, everybody's dealing with something. Right. The thing is, you got to go ahead and recognize it, and let's get to the core and develop a plan so you can elevate and not be tolerated.
Better come through, Victoria.
And Donnie, thank you so much for having me. It's been such a pleasure, my friend.
Likewise.
Now I'll come back just to watch you. What you talking about?
Well, I appreciate that. Definitely come back, man, because we got Dr. Tanoa. She's gonna be on real soon too. Definitely. We just got her booked in, and then actually we're gonna have booked in Miss Shawn as well too. She's gonna come through as well. So
and my girls,
I had to get some of the best out of that. I was like, I had to glean some talent off of that. I was like, Lisa don't know. She got some talent in this business.
She did us. She did us the hookup. She really did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be a pleasure. And like I said, at any point in time, if I could be of any assistance to help you along on your journey, you got somebody. I'm here.
Honey.
All right.
I appreciate that.
Thank you. And I want to turn this back to all of the people that joined us. Thank you so much for tuning in. The people that were not live but will be viewing us in the future or are viewing us now, I guess you could say, if you go into the future. Thank you so much. Make sure you like and subscribe and follow Dr. Holland. Is it Dr. Holland? We're going to throw that out there? We're going to claim that?
I'm claiming it.
Dr. Holland. And I love it because it just flows like it was supposed to be what it was. That's Dr. Holland. And make sure you like and subscribe. Follow her. Do it. All forms of social media and so forth and so on. And make sure you like and subscribe to The Beat. Man, we try to get the best talent with the best personalities with the best stories, and not just try to keep it real through it all with everybody. And that being said, we are at time, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Holland. As you can see now, now I don't want to call you nothing but Dr. Holland now. Get out of here.
You're gonna make me cry, boy.
hang on for a second, and so we can close up after this, and then you really should be back to your day. But like I said, I'm Donnie B. Got the beats. We live on the beat, and we out, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good evening.